On to discussion action items. Item L1, determine selection of provisional board trustee. So I'm just, I work with me.
Yeah, so President Dice and members of the board, at the meeting on May 7th, the board interviewed 4 candidates who applied to fill the remaining term of Josh Simon, who has resigned from the board because he moved out of Emeryville. And I think at that time the board conducted interviews of all 4 candidates and decided that they would like to carry over action until this evening so they can reflect on what they heard from for the 4 outstanding candidates. So it would be appropriate this evening for the board to discuss and appoint a provisional board member to complete the term of Josh Simon.
Great, thank you, Dr. Sugiyama. So board members, we have had a week to, and thank you to one of the candidates that actually provided a film clip. That was very helpful. I found that to be very useful to replay. Are there any, I'm sorry.
Is your mic on?
Is my mic? It is my mic. I'm sorry. There. Oh, there we are. Okay. I'm always back here. You did tell me that just a moment ago. All right. So we have had now a week to consider what the feedback or the responses to questions and what we heard and to the interviews in total, and just wanted to at least get a feel from board members. Any thoughts, any comments about any specific candidates that may have stuck out for you? Maybe we can go that way. Does that help any? This is hard work. Our last one was a single candidate who's sitting here now.
That was easy.
That was easy. That was very easy.
Okay, I'll start. Marcelin, am I good?
No.
No? Louder? Here? Good? Okay, no problem. So I just want to publicly thank all of the candidates for applying. You made our job very difficult. But after 7 days, as you said, of kind of chewing on everything, I think my vote is for Mr. Pats, for Christian. I feel based off of his background as a longtime teacher and now an administrator, not to mention an administrator in the special education field, that he could bring a wealth of experience and knowledge that will only enhance our direction and decision making. So that's my thought process there.
Well, and I'll just add, I think for me, and when I think about the opportunity the board has in terms of complementing, I mean, we just have this opportunity through the appointment process. An election is totally different, which I respect and totally get. But I do think that I always hate to remove parents or have parents that have such a significant role in some of the positions they hold. It always kind of draws sometimes. So, and I think we were faced with similar issues before. So that's one thought. And then I really did enjoy Tina Lagdeman's conversation. I thought she had a depth, and she spoke of equity, and it was no less than the passion she brings to it as well. So I actually really felt pretty strong about her as well as Mr. Pats. And I think Ken, who stands, alone in so many ways, he is a clear champion for Emeryville and has been. And I remember getting an award when I was a high school student from him when he was mayor. So familiar ties for sure. But I do think that in reference to having someone who works in schools and daily is an interesting component to have on the board. So I'm actually in between. So Pats and Christian Pats and Tina Lagdeman. So I just offered that comment. He's not ready. He pointed towards you.
I'll let you go. Beauty before age.
He said beauty before age.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we took a week, but
Yeah.
this still has been a very challenging endeavor. I mean, and I think much like with our superintendent pool, we had very many good candidates, and that's a good thing. And we're also seeing 42 candidates for our principal position at Annie Yates. So I think, yeah, 2 years ago I was the only one. That was easy.
That was simple, huh?
And but I think we must be doing something right. I think we are turning a corner in some way that we are attracting this kind of talent. I think Ken Bukowski is I've actually gotten to know him better through this process. He really is a dedicated public servant. You cannot call into question his desire to serve the public in this town. He's here videotaping. He's out and about doing stuff all the time. He admitted to me he has made certain mistakes in the past, and I'm willing to overlook that. I mean, you're going to make mistakes in a long career, and I'm not. I guess what I'd be most interested in is his qualifications to do the job on the board, and that's where I come up a little short with Ken, in that he doesn't have the educational training and experience and background, I think, to in the field of education to the extent that our other candidates did. So. So that's where I'm looking at the other three candidates. Among, and I like them all three. So that's a very close
Tough.
decision amongst those three, because I think those were very close. I have. I'm very excited that we had two educators apply and express interest in our district. And I've spent a lot of time speaking with Mr. Gibb, encouraged him to actually be on the school site council, and I may have been the first one who ever told him what a school site council was, and that we needed some leadership there and some parent engagement. And that's kind of all I did, because he kind of took the ball and really ran with it from there. And his presentation shows us what an impressive job he's done in terms of thoughtfulness and working through the budget. Probably hundreds of conversations with parents and teachers. So I've really been impressed with his energy and acumen in that regard. And yeah, I guess I share some of your concern about taking Mr. Gibbs' time away from the excellent job that he's doing there. Because I know I was the sort of motivating energy behind the school site council. That's how I first got involved in the district. And then when I joined the board, it died last year. There wasn't anything that happened. And all of my, my focus was here. And so that's the countervailing kind of issue for me, is I want to be pushed by Mr. Gibb and the parents, and I want a leader to continue to do that. The technology thrust that the district has adopted is something I've been in favor of, that's been greatly informed by Mr. Gibb and his knowledge and thoughts on that topic. So I want to acknowledge that and continue to see that. So that I am sort of leaning toward the two educators as well, in terms of position on the board, and amongst the two, I think they bring different things. I have a slight preference for Mr. Patz as well, given that he had he's been a paraprofessional, he's been a teacher, he's been an administrator, and now he's sort of a district office administrator, and he's in a special ed field. That is something that we need. We have an excellent special ed director in Karen Steele, Dr. Steele, but I think we need some more expertise on the board as well as in that regard. So that's kind of where I do like the other aspects about Ms. Langneman and the fact that she's a teacher and she has an administrative credential and a master's degree. Sorry, I'll just get a little closer for you. But it's a slight preference among a slight preference of those three for Mr. Pats.
Well, I think that all the 4 candidates were excellent candidates, and personally, I would like all 4 of them to continue to be a part of the district and volunteer in some aspects of their professional expertise. I think Mr. Brukowski really lends his expertise to the district in communications based on the videos that he has been shooting here and displaying to the public. I think that's been one of the I don't want to say weaknesses, but one of the priorities that the district has really been trying to strengthen, and that's our communication. I think with Mr. Brukowski filming our meetings and getting them out there to the business community and the community at large, it really does help. So I would really hope that he would continue to be a part of the district and providing those services. Mr. Gibbs, I think, he's doing an outstanding job with the parents. And, again, that's one of the board's top priorities to strengthen. And I would be, really remiss to try to remove someone with the talent and the zeal that he has and that he's bringing to our parent community to really strengthen our parents. Because, for me, I think my position on board members is that, they come from either 2 places. That's parents, parent groups, and or, mostly staff who retire and want to come onto the board. So I think if the district wants to continue to have, strong board members that are knowledgeable about education and knowledgeable about our district, I think the parents, that community and that parent involvement is the place to start, and it's the place to get educated, being on different committees and things of that nature. So, and then Ms. Lagman, I think her strength with equity and really looking at how equity should be distributed among our students, I think that's a talent and an expertise that we also need with our volunteers within our district to bring that lens to the district. So with that being said, Mr. Pats, for me, I believe the experience and the expertise that he does bring can definitely complement the board. I think President Dice said that we need someone who works at a district full-time every day, and I don't know, I do that. That's my job. So I guess you forgot that. But,
yeah, that.
No, but I think from the program side, which I am not a part of, I think is really valuable, and he brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the board, and I think that would be of real value. So, for my choice, it would definitely be Mr. Pats.
So just to clarify, I didn't mean that you didn't. I'm sorry. I did forget about you.
I'm just
Honestly,
teasing.
I did
I'm just
forget about
teasing.
you. I did
I
forget
know you
about
did.
you.
I'm
It's okay.
teasing.
I did. I totally forgot. Any other? Any further? I have absolutely. I just raised the fact that I think it would be a great compliment to include an individual who has had experience. I'm not a teacher. I think I'm the alum. I'm the alum. I'm not only the alum, but I'm definitely, I have a different vested interest in this district, in this city. So, I come from that perspective. And I think we all have different pieces that we bring to the board. And I think that would be an excellent, position or a wonderful role to have someone who has that connection to the education. And especially in as it relates to serving specific populations, I think it makes a lot of sense. So, but I do agree with what has been stated by all the board members. We have a number of areas where we have weaknesses that we wish to strengthen, and so it's just important to, in any number of ways that we could, is to ensure that people have opportunities and access to really build up their access to our district and
Yes.
support us in that way as well. So
No, I really feel that, if possible, we should try to engage all four or the other three candidates into the district via a committee or, some sort to get them involved.
having going.
I would agree with that, to the extent that they're not already involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge this is difficult for me. It is my job. It's all of our job. So that's what we're doing. Mr. Gibb is a friend of mine, and our sons are in the same classroom and have been for 2 years. And I think it was my recommendation he applied to the board, and I have tremendous respect for the work he's been doing. So I don't want to lose that. I think overall, Mr. Patz's background of having a PhD in education and having been in it from the ground up and having not gone right out of high school, but spent some time in the workforce and made his way kind of back, also gives us a different perspective that we don't necessarily have in the board. So, yeah, someone who's been a member of the classified union and the teachers union, there's just too much experience there. I think that we would be remiss not to take advantage of, at least on a temporary basis, because
Right.
some of us might not be here, including the provisional candidate in 6 to however many months we have to an election.
That's right.
True. So is that a decision for the board? Is that a recommendation or
Yes.
moving to appoint Christian Patz as our provisional board trustee? Selection of provisional board trustee? Is that, so can I get a motion for that? Wow, I just didn't want to, you have to work with me.
No, I would move that the Emery Board of Trustees would make the appointment of Kristen Patz as the replacement board trustee for Joshua Simon.
I'll second.
Any objections to that? We can roll call, sure.
Member Dwin,
Yes.
President Dice,
Yes.
Member Affelt,
Yes.
Member Ash.
Yes.
Thank you thank you again to all the applicants for being part of the process, and I think we have nothing but more doors to open along with you and partner with you. And for those who may not have necessarily a home in the district yet, I'm certain Dr. Rubio will find you a place. So, but I definitely want to appreciate the process, and again, appreciate Joshua Simon as he departed less than 60 days ago, and has allowed an opportunity for Christian Patz to join us. What will happen next is on the next meeting, I believe is May 28th, there will be a swearing-in ceremony, and so that's when, as long as you show up, you'll be sworn in and then be seated at the dais along with the board members. So thank you again for participating in this process.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I will note that this district has a lot of new going on. So you're coming in at a good time, a good moment. So thank you again. Thank you. And I see your family is here as well, right? Your wife and son? Great. Would you like to introduce them? And we got a moment. We got 2 moments. I know you're not feeling well either. So you're like, sure.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
So I'll start with the reason that I applied, and that is my son Atticus, who's sitting in the front row.
Oh, the mic.
Miss
So-
Krafchick will put you on the mic.
Yeah. Well, now you're going to take a minute longer. Okay. So again, I'll start with my son Atticus, who's very shy. So put him on the spot, and my wonderful wife Barbara, who supported me through everything that I have done. And then I want to thank the board. I think you guys had some great candidates to choose from. Thanks to Ken, I was able to watch their interviews.
Right.
And I saw them, and I thought, you know, with the two other candidates, you would improve over what Mr. Simon brought to the table. I'm hoping that I can just equal his output and do as well as he did. I don't think you could have gone wrong with the decision with the candidates you had, and I feel very fortunate that you chose me. And you know, Mr. Affelt, I don't envy your decision. I would have struggled as well. I think you were presented with some amazing candidates, and I think keeping Mr. Gibb in the parent capacity is going to be a very powerful thing. I don't think he's going away anytime soon. And I would like to bring in, and I'm bad with names, Miss
Lagman.
Lagman. I think she'd be a wonderful asset to the district, and we know Ken's going to be here every week. So with that, I'll say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say this to the other candidates. I was in the same situation, I don't know how many years ago, when there was another appointed position, and the President Dice and myself both went for the appointment, and President Dice actually got the appointment, and I didn't. And it was, at the time, we were under state administration, and I think what was told to me was because of my expertise in finance and at that time real estate, it was asked for me to stay on and be on the Budget Development Committee and the Facilities Committee. And I done that. And during that time, the district passed a partial tax, and I was asked to be on that oversight committee, and I done that. So I want to say your commitment can go a long ways to get you on this board. I've been on this board now for, I think, for 9 years. And it was because of my commitment and volunteerism that got me on here. So I would not want any of the candidates who didn't make it to be discouraged, you know, about this. My advice, based on what happened to me, is to continue to be involved, continue to show your commitment and the love for the students in this district, and believe it or not, you will be up here, you know, in due time. So I just wanted to say that for, you know, the individuals who didn't make it, to let, you know, those individuals know that I was in the same position, and through commitment and hard work, you know, you will definitely get up here, you know, if that's your desire. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Member Dwin. All right. Well, we do have a number of other items